What's going on, guys? I'm Andy, and I'm back to give you a whole ass episode on the Drift Audi. So a lot of you guys asked in the last video what all it takes to make this car rear-wheel drive and how hard it really was. So first things first, let's get to that. All right, so all you gotta do to make this car rear-wheel drive is weld the center diff up and cup your front bearings. So to do so, you take these 6 bolts off on the front of the drive shaft, and then these 8 bolts off right here on the center diff. Pull that out, weld it up, stick it back in. You go right over here. When you take your front axles out, you're actually gonna keep the front bit so you can cup the front bearings. You don't have to do anything to the transmission otherwise, and then that's it, your car's rear wheel drive. Now, if you don't wanna be Mr. One Wheelie Peely, you come back to the rear diff here, weld that bad boy up, and then do some big old skids. So another frequently asked question I get quite a bit is, what did I do for angle on this car? Because nobody makes angle kits for them, and given it's an all-wheel drive car stock from the factory, not a lot of angle. So all I actually did was shorten the arm up here, took 3/4 inch out, welded it back up, and that actually gave me quite a bit of angle, so much so that I had to have some longer brake lines made here in-house, and that kind of compensates for the more angle and whatnot. All right, so these Johnnies, in-house brand, Alzor, style 010, pretty much my favorite style wheel. And when I saw that we had it, I had to buy like 3 sets of them. So these are on almost every car I got. But this set in particular, 9-inch wide, what is it, a 30 ET on these. And then on the rears, I actually got a silver set. I'm running 28 ET, still the 9-inch wide, but a little poke in the back gives me, I'm out of breath. Tire-wise, we're running Kenda, what are these? Kenda Kaisers, KT20s. The rears, we're running some Ironman burners, which are pretty nice. I've never actually ran like a legit tire before, just kind of free tires from the tire shop. So this was a nice learning process and a nice change. All right, so while we're up here, let's talk about the brake setup I'm running. So I went with the Hawk Talon rotors and DTC pads. Even though I'm dailying the car, I figured why not get some track pads? They're gonna stop a lot better. Yeah, they're noisier, but they work great. And even though I'm running manual brake setup right now, no booster, no assist, you can still lock them up. So definitely a plus, happy about that. And while I was at it, I've been running the same coils for a couple years. I figured it was time to revamp the coils. Same with the front end suspension. There's 2 lower control arms and 2 uppers on Audis. So a lot of parts to go loose. So replaced all that, tightened it up. Car feels 100% better. And I actually took the front sway bar off while I was at it because that used that little more angle and whatnot. All right, so some of the bits I left out, kind of just skimped over in the last one. 3-inch exhaust, I actually made up in my buddy's exhaust shop here in town. Same exhaust that I've been running for like 3 or 4 years now. I thought I'd whip up some nice intercooler piping for this front mount that I've had sitting in my house for like 4 years. To support the bigger turbo, I went with some 440cc injectors. Initially, I wanted to run 630s with the V8 MAF, but due to issues with building the car and blowing it up a few times, I decided just to do 440s. That way I could keep my stock MAF, would kind of keep the power down a little bit as well. On top of that, I did an ICM delete, 2-liter coil upgrade, an Autotech intake cam, and then an IE adjustable cam gear. Although I haven't messed with the cam gear yet, I can definitely tell the gains from the cam. I also made this custom battery tie-down holder. I didn't make it, actually. Andrew made it. It's pretty nice, though. It works. I got in trouble a lot for that, going to drift events. That's pretty much the only thing I get in trouble for at drift events. So pretty much the whole drift series, this guy was just flopping around. So leftover piece from the intercooler mount, I just loaded a bolt on top, loaded a washer on bottom. Got this super rad, ultra custom, made in-house, DIY bracket guy onto the interior. All the bits that I took out would be carpet, wiring, a whole bunch of wiring that I didn't need, I guess. The stock seats, which weighed a crap ton. The center console bits and just random brackets that I didn't need. So stock these cars weigh 3241. I managed to shave off 419 pounds just out of interior bits. So all the bits that I actually kept, I felt door cards were kind of necessary since I'm dailying it. Stick my gloves and my glasses and some change to wash the car in there. Other necessities would be lights, turn signals, heat was a pretty big one, the hazards, and the rear defrost, and that's it. Nothing else stayed in this car. So I almost forgot the back seats here. I actually kept the bottom cushion in so my captain can ride with me, my doggy. He was riding shotgun, but he managed to tear the corner of the seat, and that's a no-no, so got to keep the back seat in for him. Go for rides. As you can see right here, captain got a little excited, hopped up on the side of the seat, ripped it, so now he's been demoted to the back seat where he can be all wild, run around, a lot more space and whatnot. All right, guys, so I've been dailying this thing since the Drift Series ended, and I actually got a beater to kind of replace it, but I already sold it. This car's too much fun. It was my daily originally. I can't, it's still my daily. It's gonna be the daily forever now. So one of the things I'm actually really excited about, you know, all the hard work I've put into it. If you paid attention, you'll know that I've popped 2 motors now. We're gonna throw this thing on the dyno, see what she's pushing now after all these mods. Considering 150 horsepower is what they are stock. This at least sub 200 horsepower with a stage 1. Now that it's got a nice Eurodyne tune, bigger turbo, all the nice bits, let's see what she does.
Just a tiny hair more.
All right, guys, so we just got back from the dyno, and best she did was 247, even with the bad plugs, the bad gap on them, and like the chunk missing from the one. Still made 247. So going from 150 to 247, I can't really complain. It's almost a 100 horsepower gain. That's also kind of the cap on these motors if you have the stock MAF and 440s. So if I would have kept the bigger MAF and the bigger injectors, probably could have got more, but this is a safe, kind of reliable number to stick at right now. I can beat on it constantly. I do beat on it constantly. As you can see, I got the winter wheels on, so I'm gonna continue to drive this through the winter now. I got all my tools inside. I got the jack, the stand, I got extra fluids, extra parts, just in case anything happens. I got pretty much everything I need tool-wise to fix, hopefully, anything that breaks. So that's it for me for this season. Hopefully next season I will be back with this. That's if I don't total it this year, this winter dailying it. But I've had a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed the whole series, and we'll see you next year.